It is the 11th of September, 2018. Coming to you live from Twitch.tv. Night Attack Preshow.
Run for recover. Hear my tribe rule live with the thunder. Let it rain down so we pour out another. All I wanna feel is light we reveal, and the ceiling roofs get blown with the feels, and the foundation laid down for the brave. Uncharted, we set the pace, syncopated in the way we sway, rise, elevate. Left to the right, fall back to basics. A killer combo kicking out.
You guys ready to do the pre-show? A lot of build in the sun. Happy Tuesday, everybody. Welcome. I'm Res, your pre-show navigator. I want to give a shout out to Biker, who just subscribed for the first time. Welcome, Biker. Welcome. We are, I will have to look at the number in a minute. I'll look in a minute. But we're about 30 or so subscribers away from getting a new emote slot. We're thinking of doing like a ham emote for Jay, just kind of as a bit of solidarity. That's an idea that we had over the weekend on the Rewind. We being me and some of the people in the chat. So that's an idea. But if we have another emote slot, we can put another emote in there. I should also I want to take a look in and see the use activity of the emotes that we have, because I don't know if they're all getting used. So, but hi everybody, hello. Biker says, definitely not my first time. I was one of the first 4 horse boys. Wow, welcome back, Biker. Glad we could get you over here on Twitch. Oh my goodness, I'm a mess right now. We just did an hour of pre-show or very pre-show. I was here early. On Tuesday night, sometimes me and Brian will go out to a bar or to some other public space very nearby and go and shoot some stand-ups for Wednesdays, which are Scansel days, and so we need those stand-ups. And it just ends up working out. Brian usually isn't doing much before Night Attack, but this week he's gonna drop the kids off or something, and he was like, "Well, we're gonna do it today, or I mean, can we do it today? Should we do it tomorrow?" I didn't really want to do it tomorrow, especially because I'm already coming out here today for this. So we shot at like 4, got wrapped up by 5, and then I was just like here until 8. And so we did like a little hour of going through Newgrounds and playing some Flash games. So that's in the Twitch VODs. You'll see it there if you want to see it. Chumling49 asks, do you have a room picked out at the Puppy? Not really. I don't even know the architecture of that building very well. I don't even know what all that stuff is set up like. So we'll see that. How is everybody doing this Tuesday though? I also want to give here. Let me pull them up. I want to give a second shout out to everybody who subscribed during that that pre-show. Man, I see we need a name for it. But who subscribed during that extra stream, that little extra stream we did? I want to give them a shout out because I was really pushing it because we were really close to having a new emote slot, and so I was pushing in. So I want to make sure. Krug, thank you, Krug. J King 206, Trey Warren, Glenn Geezer, Underling Shadow, Joshua David, Brusselbury, thank you guys very much. Also, Get Some and Bob Callie from today, thank you guys very much for subscribing. And Captain of Outer Space just subscribed, his 2nd month. Welcome back, Captain. Welcome back. Did you have a message? No, he didn't have a message. By the way, it is September here on Twitch. If you were gifted a subscription to someone, you can turn that into a full subscription for $1. Oh, thank you, Olhado 37239. Thank you for the subscribing. For the subscribe. Thank you for subscribing. Welcome. If you got a gift sub, you can turn that into a recurring sub for $1. So it'll pay for your next month, which would be $5, but only for $1. So that's kind of a thing. Also, hey, you can gift subs to people. If you don't like bits, or if you don't like the idea of bits, of like paying for bits, you can just give people fucking subs. That is actually a really cool thing. The Go Off Kings, who are other also Twitch streamers, they had like a whole thing about people gifting subs, and like Twitch has got this new thing now where you can be like, hey, just tell me how many people you want to gift subscriptions to, and we'll randomly pick them. And it could do like up to 100, and it's really wild. Babcat, oh my god, Babcat! Babcat did just that. He gifted 5 subs to Lauro Man, another J Martin, Alk 4130, MacBook Pro 17, and Logan WTF. Hey guys, thank you so much. Thank you, Babcat, and thank you everybody. Welcome to having emotes. Oh my goodness. I think we might be close. I'm gonna go now to our partner settings here and check and see where we are on a new emote, because we're probably close. 229, maybe this didn't update. This might not be updating in real time. It also could be if you're renewing that your sub point is just is like rolling forward and not like a new subscription. That's possible. But thank you guys, thank you so much. Oh, Acornesque just gifted 5 subs too. Hold on, I have to take this off. This is of his 5. These are 5 of his 7 gift subs to M402 Japan, Dead Polymers, Manderson, Davy Course, and To Ride Out. Wow, thank you guys so much. Thank you. The real Andrew Mays is joking me. Cool stuff coming up on Scam School. Jared Jensen, oh my god! Thank you, 5 more gift subs to 807 Sig, Chumley 409, Finn Trillion, welcome Finn. It might be Kyle and Filderbeast. Oh my goodness, guys. Let me see if this page updates in real time. Because, okay. So we're at 234. We're at 234. Oh, so we have made a lot of progress. So we only need 16 more. We're 16 short of a new emote slot. But thank you guys, everyone. Also, we're gonna have the sub bit during the middle of the show, if you'd like to save for that too. So, thank you guys so much. How many to the next sub? 16. 16. Sunbun is asking how many more into the next sub goal. Wait. You guys are sweeties. Oh man. So let's take a look at some of the fan-made stuff from the past week. Yeah, someone says fuck, we can do that in a minute. Yeah, so like I'm not even worried. I think we'll do it. So I'll keep an eye on that throughout the show. Yes, Ren Aigu, you're also a sweetie. Everyone is a sweetie. We got we have some photoshops here, including this one from Stephen Cogswell, saying real men don't hit you up late at night demanding diamond time submissions. Real men hit their desks with closed fists demanding photos of Spider-Man. Mixing a lot of things in this one. By the way, if you haven't, Dead Polymers is continuing their gift sub from Acornesque earlier. Thank you so much. Have we talked? I mentioned this in the pick section of Weird Things this week, weirdthings.com. But I've been playing the new Spider-Man game, and Assign has been playing it. A bunch of people. Brian bought it, and his kids have been playing it, but he's only played it for what he said was about 60 seconds. But I'm going to tell you a really great reason to check out Marvel Spider-Man, the Spider-Man that just came out on PS4. J. Jonah Jameson does not work at the Daily Bugle anymore. He's quit to go start an Alex Jonesian style podcast called just The Real Talk or The Straight Talk with J. Jonah Jameson. And that's the world building radio in the game, is that you download his podcast and it plays after you do stuff in the world. It's so fucking good. It's so it's so good. If you haven't, really check it out. It will probably it might go on sale soon. but I don't know. Well, there was something that I just saw that had gotten on a pretty decent sale recently, and I hadn't. I was surprised because I considered it a big game from recently. M-Beam also shares this Photoshop of Brian. Buy 7 acres of land for a new HQ, even if it has no septic system. Diamond Club, just poo it. Babcat says, I've got such a backlog of games, it may be a while, but I expect I'll play it eventually. It's really good, and what I've heard is it's pretty short. Like, if you kind of breeze through some of the open worldy games parts of it, there's, they've said, oh, well, it's like 20 hours or so, which is like pretty solid. We also got some gifts here. Cogswell cut these out from last week's Dragon Con episode. And it's some really good stuff. Oh, here we go. Brian doing some little tootsie dance on these chairs. He's not even on the table in this one. Justin giving his like shock face. Brian's like dancing happy gif at that guy's body impression is so good. It's so good. These gifs, like they're these ones, and then I think ICU cut out a few that made me go like, oh, like the beer, the double beer spit take. Like, these are so good that I could see us using them just like on Twitter or normally, or like if someone put these on Giphy and tagged them with a bunch of like normie tag stuff like surprise and OMG or WTF, like these are our gifts that could get used a lot. I think that would be really cool. We also have we have another Nike thing. Believe that more time equals less time, even if it means canceling 2 podcasts. Diamond Club, just $3. Okay, yeah. That's from ICU, sure. This gif of Sunny, of Sunbun yawning in the middle of Dragon Con. Oh yeah, they'd make great Twitch alerts. Hold on, I wonder if I am able to do that quickly while I'm also fucking talking to all of you guys. Oh, here we go. Sign has got a clip of the J. Jonas Jameson podcast. Oh, this is like... Okay, here. So this is from our friends at GameSpot. We're just going to listen to this while I work on some stuff that I can't put on screen.
Looks like Jameson's got a new episode out. Wonder what my #1 fan thinks about the fist takedown.
This is Just the Facts with J. Jonah Jameson, where listeners like you discuss the issues affecting our city with Pulitzer Prize-winning two-time Pulitzer Prize-winning former publisher of the Daily Bugle. Hey, plug the book. And as always, if you order Mr. Jameson's books, Spider-Man, Threat, or Menace, within 24 hours of our broadcast, you'll get an autographed copy at no extra charge.
No personalizations, don't ask, not gonna get it. Welcome to Just the Facts with J. Jonah Jameson, alerting you to the threats you don't even know about. I've heard reports of Spider-Man hovering around radio towers. At first, I thought he was sabotaging them, but a far more alarming possibility came to mind. In his misguided delusion that he is protecting us, is he hacking into all our conversations? Business deals, credit card transactions, those personal calls with the wife when you're on a long, lonely book tour. I mean, when one is on a book tour, I wasn't talking about myself. I don't do that sort of thing, and anyone who thinks they have recordings of me doing it is wrong.
Okay, so
this is so good.
You gotta give
Hey,
Spider-Man
one more.
respect for taking down Wilson Fisk, right? I mean, one less mob boss is good for everyone.
Is that right? Tell me, are you a police officer? Prosecutor? Maybe an award-winning reporter with decades on the job like me?
No, I'm a plumber.
Oh, good. Then fix my toilet and shut up! Let me explain something to you about crime. As soon as one goes down, every punk with a gun, a tracksuit, and a drawer full of gold chains decides he's the next godfather. We're gonna have a gang war in the street, but does that whip-headed moron give a damn? Of course not. He got on TV. That's what counts.
All right, that's okay. That's so good. That's in Spider-Man and Marvel's Spider-Man. Excuse me. So good, so good. Okay, one last thing. I'm updating the alert box. I was able to get a lot of this stuff going. Where did that one go? Oh, where did it go? The spit take. So we're gonna put the spit take on the bits. Then we're gonna set the bits. Let me make sure I see what the bits minimum is. Okay, the bits minimum. I'm gonna drop it to 200. So during the sub box moment in the middle of the show, it's 200 bits to make that for the spit take, and then the Brian jumping is the subscription. That's great. Super cool. Hey, there we go. Hi. Oh my God, Christopherson 77. Thank you so much for subscribing. They should put out the podcast so you can subscribe to it. They should. Though I will say they're really short. You know, what we listened to there was like 2 or 3 of them. Like they're meant to be short, like radio, like world building updates, like the radio messages in Grand Theft Auto, right? They're supposed to be world building things. So unless they made longer ones or they strung them together. We also had ICU coming through with a Photoshop. Drinks not offered to special guest turquoise Jeep, allegedly. Yeah, they were offered. Yeah, I don't know why they were not offered. But they may also have had some stuff. Let's see what else is going on. Okay, who is this? This is also ICU. This is also ICU. Find you a bro who looks at you the way Justin looks at Brian. I posted this screen cap because I was very upset because Brian standing for like 30 minutes during Dragon Con fucked up the wide shot that we were using for the table here. Oh my gosh. And then Justin walking around didn't help anything. Yeah, and no shoes. It was a soft, like, padded table, but no shoes? What the fuck? What the fuck? Ugh. Oh my goodness. Hi everybody. We're back from Dragon Con. I forgot that we're back from Dragon Con because we didn't do like a live. We just used like the Twitch premieres for that episode last week. So yeah, we haven't. Hi, welcome back everyone from Dragon Con. Vethic 42 just subscribed for their 16th month in a row. Thank you, Vethic. Oh my goodness. But Dragon Con was fun. Dragon Con was a good time. After the monetizing your content panel that Travis McElroy and one of the producers from Welcome to Night Vale and what was it? Good Morning Night Vale. After that, Justin, Brian, and myself went out and we took some photos of them together. We do all of these shows together, and like we never get, even though these guys are all in the same room multiple times a year, we never like have photos of them together. So we stopped and did like 20 or 30 minutes of taking some photos around. There's a nice little rooftopy spot at the Hilton. So we took some photos there, some solos, some group stuff. I posted some of them in the Discord. I'm not going to show them here because I took them on the GH4, and then the GH4 has like a Wi-Fi thing, so I could send it to my phone, and I edited them a little bit with my phone. But I want to go in and do them again through Lightroom so that they're at full resolution. And we'll probably put those either in social stuff or, you know, I don't know. But we now have new photos of Brian and Justin and photos of them together and like in the same space. So that's pretty good. Bob Kelly says, sad we didn't get to go to Hooters Rice. I know! I wanted to go after Night Attack, but the Night Attack ran long by like a half hour. And because it was Sunday, Hooters closed at midnight. And so, and I didn't think about it Saturday. Wait, did something happen Saturday night? Because I was out. Oh, Sigler's party was Saturday night. Sigler's party was out Saturday night. But yeah, I wanted to go. I wanted to have Hooters 2 : Tutors. But man, I don't, Oh well. Hey, you know what? There are Hooters everywhere. Fucking whatever. But yeah, Sigler's party was raucous, and it was I think his suite was maybe a little smaller than last year, because it was like the same amount of people trying to fit into a into a smaller space. Sunbun is asking me, because Sunbun's coming into town this weekend, if I want to go to Hooters this weekend. We need to figure out what we're doing this weekend, because we're doing like Modern Rogue shoots Saturday and Sunday. Maybe. I'm sure we'll get together. We might get together Friday or Saturday after doing the Simpsons thing. So maybe. Finn Choyan says Hooters can't serve food after midnight, or they will turn into gremlins. That's really good. Yeah, we'll talk later. Signs fake coin belt bet for the night is open. Belt.facco.in. If you have fake coin, or if you sign up for the thing, you get, I think he'll just give you a bunch of fake coin. You guys can bet on the belt bet for tonight. The condition is whenever someone mentions meeting or having a connection to a celebrity, they will get the belt. Brian is very much my favored bet on this one, especially because I can think of at least one story of something that happened in the past like 3 or 4 days that Brian will no doubt bring up. Oh my god, Brian told me a story. We went to get a drink earlier of what one of the things we might talk about in the first part of the show tonight is, and it's so fucking good. It's so fucking funny. Nicholas, he asks, who does Justin ever mention? Yeah, Justin's not like a name dropper, right? Like when he'll talk about like people who he knows, but they're not usually celebrities, or he doesn't talk about them in that way. Like he knows some Twitch people and he mentions them, but certainly not as often as Brian. I think this is a very easy, like if you want to win a lot of fake coin, I think you would have an easy bet tonight. That's my guess. Sign is saying Twitch people count. Sure, they count, but also because he just doesn't do it as much. I don't know. Insider. Yeah, this is all insider information. Science says even if he mentions his wife, now hold on. Now hold on. I would take you to task, sir, on that one. What else is going on? I played some Spider-Man here on the channel on Friday and Saturday night. That Saturday night stream is good. The Friday night stream was a bummer because the audio was desynced for most of it. And then the Saturday night one, I'd bumped up the bitrate and the resolution so that it would look nicer. But then it was dropping a bunch of frames, and so it made it look like it has really bad performance. And that's such a shame that it happened, because that game is butter smooth. That game looks really good, even like on a regular PlayStation 4. Nicholas, to see maybe if Justin mentions Cargill, he'll get it. That could happen. I guess the thing is, like, is it just a mention? Or is it like a name drop? Whenever someone mentions meeting or having a connection to a celebrity, they get the belt. Okay. Well, we'll see. Yeah, mentioning her is not enough. Like if he mentioned Healthy Addict or Fake Gamer Girl. Yeah, or mentioning the connection, I think could be something. By the way, hey, I'll log in and see if we got anything, but we we're looking at, I wanted to do this for a while here. Oh, we got a couple already. That's great. I don't know what we'll do with that one. I've been wanting to do like a mailbag segment on Night Attack. I for as long as I've been working on Night Attack, I've just never had a mailbag. Like, there have been games where people mail stuff in, or people use the email to send stuff in, but like not a lot of people responding to the show or comments, and I think part of it might be that there's not a specific avenue for that. So mail at nightattack.tv, it's open now. It's always open, but if we get a couple good mailbags, we might even try to do it at the end of this week's episode. But I've wanted to do like a small mailbag segment at the end of Night Attack for a little bit now, and If not this week, then we might do that next week. OpenAI says another Night Attack AMA. Ask me anything. No, it's not even that. It's just like if you have a comment or a response to anything on the show, or you have a question, corrections, omissions, what have you. I'm gonna see what it looks like when we craft that space, because I was thinking a lot about like Diamond Time lately and what that plot of time looks like, because I think it's fine. Like, it's an evolution on the old Diamond Time, which definitely did not work. And Zaplonic says it's like a mailbag episode, but it's not an episode, right? This would just be a regular short segment at the end of each week. So it's not like a big, I mean, if we got a lot, we could do a mailbag episode, but it's really not even a full thing. It's a short regular thing. But we have Diamond Time, and a lot of people use that to promote fundraisers, their projects, their podcasts, their channels, what have you. I think that's great. And part of me, especially on weeks when we don't have like a lot of Diamond Time submissions, go like, well, that like Diamond Time as it is set up is like, it's a message board, right? It's a big poster it's a big board in town square, and whoever puts the thing highest at the top will get us to just read whatever they say. And I kind of thought that would be more people would go into like, oh, well, I'm going to use this to like shout out my friend, like, hey, hi friend, just sending you a hello, like, I don't know, little personal messages also. But that kind of didn't happen, and that's fine. But I think in a very far away space, like, Diamond Time is great because it gives you guys your opportunity to plug whatever, which has always been an offering from Night Attack since the start. But having a mailbag kind of opens up those sorts of lines of communications in a different way. Like, by having the medium helps craft what those messages can sort of look like. Hey, Juice.
Yo.
What's going on?
What up?
How's your Tuesday going?
Man, it's a hell of a Tuesday.
Yeah?
Aside from being the 17th anniversary of the nation's greatest tragedy, it's pretty fucking swell.
So that was an hour and a half that we went without saying 9/11. So
and literally the first that either Brian or I have been on.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, new records is Drunk for a moment. We were talking about this earlier. I don't know if you caught any of this, Justin, but we are, let me give you an update. We are 14 new subscribers away from getting a new emote slot here on Twitch. So we'll have people resubbing, and I don't know if those count as new points, but I think like 14 new people, we could get 14 new people. We could get 14 new people tonight.
I think it's probably 14 lurkers.
Yeah. We already had a couple like big like gift subscriptions, like multiple people gifting like 5 subscriptions.
Oh shit!
During the pre-show, we got a good chance. Yeah, and if you're using your Prime subscription, that does count. But I was talking a little bit about Diamond Time and about this mailbag idea that I texted you and Brian about earlier.
Yeah.
And so I think by like opening up that channel and saying like, hey, we're gonna also take comments from you this way, and they'll be presented in this different way, and we'll see kind of what those look like, right? Because Diamond Time has always had this tint of like promoting something or linking to something.
Yeah,
and
I'm all for it. I think that there's one of the things that this show has kind of always been good at in every incarnation of it, that I, weirdly enough, it's always come easy, and we've never had to earn it, and so therefore I think we understand it less, is audience interaction.
Yeah.
Like, audience interaction for this show, as Brian has canonically said, is as easy as, I bet you nobody's gonna make a Photoshop of me on a horse, and then a Photoshop of me or Brian on a horse shows up, and we're like, it's crazy. And so now, but like, we never realized that shit's hard. That shit's like really hard to do, and a lot of people take a lot of time trying to figure out ways to do it. I actually just shout out if Hot Beverages is watching. She put it in my Discord, but have you seen this Lindsay Ellis video about like the authenticity of YouTube?
No.
It just came out today.
Yeah, can you give me like the short version?
So I don't know. I'm halfway through it, and I think I know where it's going, but I'm not sure.
This one, manufacturing authenticity for fun and profit.
Yeah.
I feel like I heard about this video, possibly. Oh, no, this came out today. I feel like I heard a similar sort of conversation about authenticity.
What? I don't know. I'm going to tell you what I've seen up to, and then I'm going to tell you where I think it's going.
Okay.
Up to this, she talks about this channel about cakes. And they make this, it's this channel that makes these crazy cakes.
Crazycakes.youtube.com.
What was that?
Crazycakes.youtube.com.
Yeah, crazy cake. Lady, what makes crazycakes.edu, right?
Yeah.
So somebody buy that and send it to wherever that fucking actual channel is. So she talks about like, the history of YouTube and the idea that like there used to be television, and television brought us into this world and let us touch celebrity and let us be with these familiar people. But YouTube took off because of authenticity. And that even, accounting for PewDiePie plays video games, but by and large, he's a slice of life vlogger. Same with Logan Paul, to whatever end that you want to revile his existence.
Yeah.
So then it starts talking about this cake channel and how this lady really took off. Her cake channel really took off. The more she realized, she made it less like a Food Network show and more like she would like interact with her producer. So, and she doesn't say this, but this is what I took from it, that it was more like what a Food Network show is really about, including the fact that like she makes these cakes that are usually like themed to pop culture shit, but the lady doesn't know what the fuck the pop culture things are. And she's like, the producer will be like, do you know what a Pikachu is? And she's like, I don't know. Does he sneeze? Is he like Pikachu? Like,
sure.
So she
like
is with the rise of this channel, but then also starts at the point that they have like 11 million call to actions. And as the audience has gotten bigger, her call to actions have gotten larger. The part that I'm at now is that there's another show called like Man by Cake or something, or Cake by Man, that was a venture funded thing where they take a lot of the same tropes. Now, like, I don't think she's out and out saying, yo, you copied this other channel, but more that, hey, look, these are two. The point, I think, is made stronger if even they were completely unaware of each other. But some of the things that are similar are like, there's also producer interaction. But his producers on the new version are mic'd. And it's fairly obvious that they're all mic'd, meaning that there is an intentionality to it.
Yeah.
So that's where I've watched
up to.
Oh, shit.
Oh, no, I think you're good.
Where I think it's going is that YouTube is becoming television. That television didn't start, or it is maturing, basically. To say becoming television brings a loaded term. That YouTube began as the platform of authenticity. And then we figured out how to perfect authenticity based on the underlying infrastructure of the carriage system. Like, so television became television. Reality television became successful reality television, not because the nation hungered for a more intense experience with their people, although they may very well have. It became a thing because it was cheap and it was non-union labor, and you could make a deal directly with the people that were making it. And so therefore, tailored to the carriage system, a kind of thing took off. And now we are seeing that, or at least a hardening of that, with YouTube on a level that is slightly uncomfortable, considering the fact that this is supposed to be the platform of authenticity.
Yeah.
That's where I think it's going.
Okay.
But as Open Bayou points out, it's 36 fucking minutes, and I was literally just deciding. I was playing this chicken game of how long I was going to not be on the pre-show,
so you can keep
instead of
watching
watching the show.
Here, I'm gonna put it on my watch later. I'll try to check it out later. Yeah, it's an interesting thing because that goes hand in hand with the democratization of digital video, right? Is like you make the tools easier to use and cheaper and put them in more people's hands, and that suddenly means that the amount of people who have access to these tools goes from, master craftsman and master screen, talent to literally anybody, and
Sure.
all of the things that come along with that of the rawness of not being, and we've seen all sides of this, but not being media trained and not being, someone who always says the right stuff. I'm interested to see the rest of that video, though.
Yeah, I think it's kind of must watch shit for any kind of digital creator, I think. And it's certainly must watch shit for anybody who does YouTube or watches YouTube.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's necessarily evil. She might paint it as evil, but I don't know if it is. But
I mean,
yeah.
The difference between it is like, I don't know, like it. I want to see the whole video. I want to see more than no seconds of the video before I talk about it, I guess. But
yeah.
But going back to our topic,
I didn't think so, Waffle Alpha, because I was just covering my bases in case somebody who has seen the video is like, she fucking says it's evil, no, you idiot.
but to bring it back here, I am hoping that something like a mailbag, which I think is a well understood part of podcasting. I mean, we fucking do it every week on Cord Killers. That it brings a different avenue for people to contribute to the show, and has a lower barrier to entry versus like being here live and making photoshops and making little videos and blah, 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 right? Like, it kind of blew my mind to realize, when I was thinking a little bit more about it today, they're
right.
like,
oh, wait, Bryce, I'm gonna let you finish.
Okay.
You're never gonna believe this, but remember earlier when we said that nobody was gonna Photoshop Brian on a horse?
I do remember that. Oh my god. Why did you pick this picture?
Look in the chat right now, because that's Brian on a horse.
I'm not showing this to Brian because even though this is Vladimir Putin, he's not going to be a fan of this body type on this head. Hey, Wisp Design, thank you very much for subscribing.
You're the one who's going to have to listen to it for the next hour.
But yeah, so it kind of like it was a little wild to me to think, oh yeah, these guys have been, doing the streaming stuff for almost a decade now, and never really had like an email segment.
No. Yeah, it's weird. I was excited to hear you talk about it when you first brought it up, but because I do think it is something that we should do, and there's another level of connection to it. And also, I don't know. I'm always just a fan of evolving the show. This is always the push and pull between Brian and I. Brian's very, very good at building steady, built-to-last systems, and he has a tremendous track record for it.
Mm-hmm.
I have an inability to trust anything that works.
Yeah.
So
well,
what I have matured in our partnership is that I now understand that you should give things time, but then also allow it to change.
Yeah. Because I don't know. Yeah. I don't know. I think it'll be a nice thing. So Mail at nightattack.tv is open now. If we get a few more that are good, maybe we do a trial run tonight. Otherwise, we'll just wait until next week. And And just,
Colin's hard though, Spin Dash. Look,
yeah, Colin is hard.
I love Colin. I think Colin is really, really cool. It's almost impossible to do when you don't have a call screener to get the best calls.
Mm-hmm. And
And also, you need laser focused things to call in about.
yeah.
And even then, like, we've done it before, certainly, but man, it is always a crapshoot.
Yeah.
Unless you're calling out, or like, that's why Brody's always been a good bit, like on when we're streaming. I mean, it's become a live bit now, but like, yeah, I'll tell you what, it's funny because at the at Dragon Con we wanted to do, and we said it on the show, we're like, oh, let's do Q&A, and everyone's like, fuck you, we came here for Brody.
Right. That was, you know, I don't know when the idea happened, but I remember thinking, well, you should just make it 2 segments, because eventually you guys did just do a question and answer segment at the end.
Yeah, well, I mean, as soon as nobody wanted to answer questions, nobody wanted to ask questions, we're just like, well, and that's another one of those things where I think at a certain point we looked at Brody as a live crutch, and I think what we've kind of realized since we took like a year off with Dragon Con and we did it at kind of other places, that people are like, no, this is like just a really good live bit.
Right.
And like people like it. And now it's our brand when we go out. People like think of their stories. And if we don't Get Brodied, guaranteed 2 or 3 people will come up and be like, oh man, I had a story.
Like, even the LA show, which we need to put out at some point, had a shorter Don't Get Brody bit, and we didn't get as many people, but even then, we got enough to make it like a full segment. Like it's a bit that needs a little momentum, right? People kind of need to see other people do it and see how it goes. But yeah, Don't Get Brody.
Well, that was also a weird one
solid.
because we actually got a good audience of like people that don't normally love the show in LA. So it was weird to be like, it was like people coming to church for the first time, and we went right into the snake eating. Like,
right,
you
need to prep them.
Did you say snake eating?
Sure, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm talking old church. I'm talking pre-Roman antiquity, really.
Not the ones where they only handled the snakes. That's not enough. We're like, let me tell you what. Let me tell you something, brother. The Church of Terry Bollea. He says, let me tell you something, brother. When the serpent tries to lie to you, you don't just say no. You say no, thank you, and then you bite him in half.
The Chulch. Oh, there you go.
No.
No. I know you're.
That was good.
But yeah, so yeah, so I'm excited to do that. I'll be sure to squeeze the...
Oh, is that gonna be the second act bit?
No, we got a game.
Oh, we got a game? Okay, good.
We do got a game. But you know, because my thinking is that this would be something for like near the end of the show. Regular. We're talking about the mailbag idea.
Oh, yeah. Man, that is a pretty good content generation engine.
Yeah, I'm surprised you guys haven't done it for the past decade.
To be honest, the only reason we haven't is because that's definitely 1/3 of Ice Cream Social, and I felt like if I were to suggest it, then I would be a copycat. But you suggested it, so we're not. It's great. It's great. You've never even heard Ice Cream Social. It's perfect.
Wait a minute, hold on.
That's so...
I mean, but like we've definitely been doing this show for like 8 years before Ice Cream Social.
I only had the idea after I listened to Ice Cream Social, and I thought it's brilliant that they do this, but now I can't suggest it or I'm ripping off their bit.
I also think that you've been doing it on like Frame Rate and Court Killers for like 5 years before.
Yes, but that's a news show. It's like, whatever. Like, my point is, I'm happy that we're here. I'm happy that you suggested it because I think you are right. It'll be awesome.
Please don't tell the Ice Cream Social guys I've never heard their shit.
I've been recording bank episodes for Jury.
Those are episodes that make a lot of money.
Because I owe a lot of money to the Church of Me. No, I got a busy travel month in October, so I want the ability to kind of like because I like doing on the road, like in the airport kind of like shows every once in a while, but I think that they're just kind of bad. And they're not, now that the Jury Daily thing has become more of a YouTube kind of thing. Like it is like, it's a 4-day-a-week show that people like, I take YouTube comments and answer them and stuff like that. I want to play that game a little bit more. And every once in a while when it's like, oh, I'm in the airport and I'm doing a podcast and it's like, here's the static image of the thing. Fuck you, YouTube. It's just kind of bad. So I've been recording these unpopular opinion episodes. And I did one just as the schedule worked out. One with Matt and one with Paul. Oh, and nice. Paul's is I don't even know what to tease about it. Like it's
what's the topic? Is that even too much?
I'm gonna give you the headline, and I'm gonna let you know that this is not his opinion. This is where the conversation ended up.
Okay.
The prequels were ruined by racial guilt, and I'm just gonna leave it right there.
Right on.
Just
okay.
Right there.
Hey,
That's
separate
where it ended.
topic, separate question. Has anybody done? And I don't mean to take anything away from all of the success all of the three of us have achieved so far. I think we're doing very, very well. I'm very proud of where we are. But I have to imagine, picture if there's a ladder, there are people above us, right, who have access to more other people. And I don't perceive myself as so brilliant that I can be the only person to have thought of this for the first time. But is there anybody who has done a podcast in which it's two, or maybe it's a very famous or very successful host who brings in other successful people and never mentions who he is or who the other person is? The conversations stand alone, and it's like, in my mind, it would be called like uncredited or something. Like, is there anybody who's done that? And then like do it for years, and then at some point have like a leaked document that it's like, hypothetically, not saying this is me, but like Brian Brushwood talking to Teller for an hour, Brian Brushwood talking to Tom Merritt for an hour, and Brian Brushwood talking to, or whatever. Has anybody done that?
So it would be a show where neither in the metadata or in the content of the show you mention who a person is.
Correct.
Even if they have very distinctive voice.
Correct. Possibly, maybe even disguise the voices. Although ideally, see how many episodes you can go before the guest list leaks, and somebody figures it out, and then all of a sudden everybody figures out, oh crap, that's Bill Burr, that's Mark Maron, that's Bob Odenkirk, that's blah blah blah, that kind of thing.
Okay, I've never heard of anyone doing that idea.
No, that's it. I think that. You might not be able to get it without.
You don't need to do this, John. Sorry, Justin, go ahead.
You might be able to get away with it where like people will know almost immediately who it is, like if they are famous. But if they're not like famous, it'll just be like, I think it's a really, really cool idea because like if let's say you start off with Greg Grunberg, right?
Right.
And like the premise is it's just uncredited, episode 1.
Right.
Greg Grunberg, right?
And it's two guys.
And it doesn't say Greg Grunberg.
Correct.
Anything, any movie that he talks about, any show that he's talking about, any person that he's talking about will get bleeped, right? Maybe that's even like
there we go. Yeah. So you bleep any specifics that would give it away. So it's just like, it just begins with like, what does it take to make it in Hollywood? And he's like, well, I came from a small town. I came from bleep, a small town outside of boop. But
so you're also removing personal information?
Yes. The idea is keep it as long as you can, and then its release date is determined by when somebody figures it out and it becomes newsworthy, and then they see the back catalog of 30 episodes and they figure out all, and then it becomes a quest to figure out who are all these people. Holy shit, that's David Cross. Holy shit, that's Janine Garofalo. Holy shit, that's whatever. And that's essentially its debut.
I mean,
here's what I would say. Mm-hmm. You just start releasing it, right? But the idea is that, look, we know this is word of mouth. candy, right? People will understand that super fans or like you're creating the game of here's a voice who is this voice. And so now you're Reddit catnip, right? Now it's like people will want to gather and hear and listen and share other clips of other interviews. But really the secret sauce is in when you're bleeping out names of people and names of movies. Now the real guessing game is like, oh, he's got to be talking about when he was shooting Star Trek, and the person who was a real dickhead is probably Chris Pine.
So, and it becomes a fractal where it's like first you have the mystery collapsing of, oh shit, these are famous people talking famous people shit, and they don't care because they know everything's going to be bleeped and it's all been approved. And then you get the fractal game where you figure out down to each individual words, you have people arguing about whether this was a fuck or a goddamn or a Harvey Weinstein that they're saying in this one bleep.
But I think it's like just start releasing it and never plug it. Right? Or plug it once and say, hey, look, here's a show where me, Brian Brushwood, interview my favorite people, and it's called Uncredited. I'm never going to tell you who the guests are officially, and I'm going to take out relevant data that would turn...
Agent Sign has it. Call it redacted.
Ooh,
that's pretty good.
That's
pretty good.
Word.
Brutal
I think
honesty.
that's a really good idea. It would take a lot of booking.
Yeah. I don't know. Give me 5 more years.
I mean, literally, you could probably just, let Grunberg
look, I have to say, give me 5 more years, and then...
Yeah, just wait till Grunberg gets done shooting Star Wars.
5 years from now is when you'll figure out that I've been already releasing it, and this is my earliest press release about it.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
And so this is all just for attention? Like for the big pop, the viral pop, and then you keep doing it?
I mean, if it's good and everybody loves it, like, first of all, any podcast worth its salt essentially does the exact same thing. Is your first 50 episodes are garbage and nobody cares and you made no money from them. And then at some point they get good and you make money from it. I'm going to bet that this thing can't go 50 episodes before it gets figured out and suddenly it's big and popular, and then you start making money for it. So you're making money on the exact same schedule as if you told everyone what it was from the very beginning.
Oh, totally. By the way, Peterman 1000 says that sounds like a nightmare to edit. It actually wouldn't be. All you'd have to do is transcribe the interview, and there's like machine learning and like Mechanical Turk and stuff that does that fairly cheap, right? And then you just go through it physically, redact out whatever. I mean, this is if you wanted to do it. If Brian... Let me just say, this is if Brian was going to do it without
By the way, this is not my idea, and I don't intend to do it. I was peeing over at Trudy's just a few minutes ago, and I overheard somebody saying that he was going to do this as an idea or had been doing it already. He didn't specify.
Yeah. You print it out, and then you just scratch out the stuff, and then give it to your editor and let them edit that. Like, because really, you just want the most.
I'm gonna guess that Bryce is not the biggest fan of the part of the story that says, "Then just give it to your editor, and it'll be fine."
Yeah, the part where you've taken a digital workspace and made it analog to pass it on.
Yeah, I think you could, like, if there was somebody in the room whose job it was to time code things as they were.
Like a talented producer who had an app where he could just, as he listened, indicate the moments that would need to be redacted in the future.
Right.
If only such technology and skills existed within this room right now.
Gosh. And I just understand.
This is almost the perfect heist.
What is
the No. Sorry. At this point, I'm just trying to get your goat.
It's a fun idea, right? Like, it's a fun idea.
No, Bryce. You're at the point now. You're at the point now where you're like, Brian, that's great. I'll start looking for quotes on editor.
Yeah.
Yeah, you get to hire them.
Wow.
Right?
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, it sounds like a much better idea now, doesn't it, Bryce?
You also get to pay for them out of your own pocket.
Well, okay.
No.
I can do that now. And thank you to Acornesque who gave a sub to Manderson. Oh, Brian, you were mentioning this. I think we are like 15 new. No, even less than that. We are probably 9. We are 9 new subscribers away from getting a new emote.
99999.
So if you are an existing subscriber, please continue your subscription and consider giving a subscription to somebody else.
And what comes after 9?
8.
I
was gonna say 11.
Oh.
Ooh. I mean, okay. Ooh.
Oh.
2 jokes so far.
2. We went an hour and a half. Justin called right in.
Can I?
No. Don't share that. Do not share the thing.
Text it to me though. Text it to me.
Here, I'm just gonna hand it to you. I sent Justin a modified version of an organic conversation I had with Bonnie.
Oh, you can share that. You can share that.
Okay, here.
Wait, was this today's event?
I went to a school thingy.
Oh, I thought that would have been the first deck.
So can I share this or no?
Yeah, no. Our back and forth today, yes, just not the thing that I sent you very early.
No, not that. So I had to go to a school orientation thing.
No, it's even better.
I had to go
better.
I had to go to a school orientation thing. What?
It was even better because
Bonnie was supposed to go.
I was well, it was like I had to be 2 places at once. So, I'm like, "Hey, Brian, you can either you should take Josie up there," because I'm like, I throw myself under the bus, like, go to the school orientation thing. Ugh. And then Brian goes, and Brian's about to leave. I'm like, bye, I'd rather be you. And then he's just like, well, let's switch places. No big deal.
Yeah, like I'll go to the school thing. I'll sit there. I'll listen to the Jeep Drop and the Clip Clops, and then we'll be good. And then Bonnie was just like, she was like, no backsies. And then she grabbed Josie. And off she goes. And meanwhile, I'm thinking, like, I don't have to deal with any kids. All I got to do is show up at a place and sit down or whatever. Today, 6:44 p.m. Brian to Bonnie. WTF is this trash? Next, new text. I guess we're all supposed to just sit here and watch people younger than us read things off a piece of paper. Also, I realized that it's ambiguous whether or not I'm talking about the teachers or the students because they're all younger than us. Like, I felt the call of middle-aged curmudgeonness, and then I wrote, God, I can't wait to become a grandparent. Pause, and then I wrote, second worst 9/11 ever. No.
Oh my God! No, I just about snorted out because, like,
we've all heard it. We can't be surprised. I can't be surprised again.
Oh my gosh! No, I was so laughing because I saw that meeting was coming up on 9/11. I was just like, oh my gosh! Is it? It's this meeting and like I can't stand it. And then, like, what Brian didn't know is what I know is that you go and it's not just showing up to, like, go to the meeting and listen to people younger and you read off a paper about things you already know are coming up, and it's just awful. I hate those things, because you already know it. And if you don't know it, then tell me when it's actually going to happen, right? And so I'm like, okay, so you go. But meanwhile, what you're really there for is for all the other parents in the room to judge you on what you're wearing, how your hair looks, on like what, school job your kid got or whatever. It is just like total judgment. And then, like, and so I did get dressed, but I didn't have time to do my hair. So when Brian said he'd go, I was just like, oh, thank God.
But I mean, Bonnie goes into Terminator vision, and she's like wearing a bomb-fell outfit, hair is combed, doesn't give a fuck, and go. And go.
Yes. I'm just like, whatever. And then, but Josie's best friend, I knew Josie was going to be like, oh, you got to meet her mom. And sure enough, that happened.
Yeah, it was her dad. But
her dad.
Yeah.
Oh, so her mom wasn't there?
No.
That was even more perfect. It would have even been more awkward if I went.
He approached me. I felt like the belle of the ball just out of nowhere. Dude comes up. He's like, you seem cool. You want to let our daughters hang out? And I was like,
unprompted. That's the first thing he says to you.
I mean, that's the way I remember it. I might be wrong on all this.
Yeah.
anything 20 minutes ago.
I did mention I did within like seconds of me mentioning that we had bought the 7 acres. He was just like, so like, can other people put a studio on that space? How close? How far is that? So like, if I wanted to just plant a studio, I was like, oh, you've got a studio. Oh.
Anyways, it was amazing.
Yeah.
Yay!
Cool.
And I went to speaking of studios, I just went to my studio.
Oh yeah, you guys moved some stuff around earlier over the weekend, right? How was that?
I broke Bonnie's flower.
Oh, what?
I mean, I cracked off part of it, and
is that your takeaway?
Yes, that's all I'll ever think about. Is Bonnie said you have one job, and that is to perfectly move this giant 40-pound, 3-foot tall, 2 feet wide vessel.
Did she say
from
perfectly,
here
or did you say
to there without messing up a single thing? And I was just like, I will do that. And then as I'm like, and I just feel under my fingers just this crumble, and I was just like, I'm fucked, never getting laid again. And then Bonnie immediately, she was nice enough to say she expected there to be some slippage, and that the moment she says that, the moment she saw that, she was pleased because she knew that was as bad as it was going to get. But I don't believe her, and I failed her, and I'm very sorry.
Okay. So meanwhile, like, all my work has this common theme of having torn edges. So basically, you just made one of the edges torn a little more. Yeah. Not a
It's a collaboration.
Collaboration now.
No, so you're saying I should insist on equal credit.
I'm saying don't quit beating yourself up over it. Let's not get serious.
Oh my God. It was amazing. Because when I first started constructing the piece, I use the golden ratio. So like I start off, and then sometimes things go like, they tell me they want to go somewhere else, and then but then I have to stick to my ratios. Mm-hmm. And then this one got really big. And I was just like, I can't move this, but I know who can, because he's been like working out in the gym and getting really muscly.
Oh,
he's
her trophy husband.
He's really muscly.
Okay,
it's
here's
really
the unfortunate
adorable.
thing is that when Bonnie books Brian to move this, it's shortly after we do 3 episodes of Cocktails with Trevor, and so she's real on the edge, real on the fence about whether or not Brian's going to be allowed to move the thing.
I know. I was concerned. I was like, how much tasting are you gonna do? Because like, if you just set that down with a thud, the whole thing's gonna break. Yeah. No, but it was the tiniest little piece that broke off, and I was just like, oh, that's awesome.
Look at that. Not bad, actually good.
Yeah, no, totally. And it's totally part of the piece, so it's not a big
it's
deal.
showtime. I'm gonna go to the restroom. We can get started.
Okay.
Feeling it.
But do you need anything? No, good, thanks.
I'm good, thank you.
That's
not it.
Yeah, I have like the whole studio working for me right now. It's crazy.
Nice.
I have that piece is cooking, or actually it's cooked, and now it's just cooling down. Mm-hmm. And then we started a new kiln with only my work, so it's like, in order to get the temperature I want.
Yeah.
I'm the only one that does like matte surfaces, so I have to do a different temperature, so I have to fill the whole kiln, and that's kind of a big deal.
Yeah.
So now about 3 months of my work is cooking, and I'm like, oh, I hope it'll be okay. And then tomorrow we're raccooing, and then raccooing is a lot of fun. You like put it in a big trash barrel, and you just heat it up really fast, and then you put it into a bunch of newspapers, so it burns up a little bit.
Yeah.
And then you get these really super cool effects. So like metallics, and it's a lower temperature fire, but you get all these crazy colors and metallics.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah. So, and it's a lot of fun, because then like you take out mold, like you pull it out of the barrel when it gets to temperature, and it's like glowing red hot. So there's danger involved.
Sure.
And so we're doing that tomorrow if it doesn't rain.
Nice.
It'll be fun. But I don't know. I've been working for about 3 or 4 months, and I haven't had a finished piece. So I'm getting a little antsy. So it'll be,
sure.
like I'm like, I don't know. And is anything going to turn out ever? Will I ever have a finished piece?
But if you're working on bigger pieces or like it takes time to do this. Plus, you were working on like how much of your time was split between like those shows that you were transporting stuff and figuring out stuff like that.
Oh yeah, yeah, that's like, all a part of it. Yeah, but mostly I was just having to wait my turn. So and that's the big deals. But now my turn is my turn. Now it's my turn. So I waited for months.
It's her turn.
It's my turn, baby. So. Yeah, and because I work big, it's awkward to get them fired sometimes. So.
How big is it? I mean, it must be a pretty big kiln if you're doing a lot of pieces at once.
Yeah,
is like a walk-in size?
One of them, I think, is 42 inches tall.
Okay. Whoa.
Yeah, and so, and then I think it's kind of, I think it's like 36 deep. I don't know.
Okay, so anyways. I mean that's a pretty good size.
Right. It's bigger than like consider your head and your torso. It's about that size that you could.
Yeah.
You can put it in there body-wise. And then there was this small woman that came one time to our show, and I was showing her around the studio. And then she looked at it, and she was like, oh, my gosh, that's exactly how tall I am, and scooches away. She was, like, freaked out by it. And
she was not cool.
She was like, not cool. Like, I would fit in there, and that weirds me out.
Okay, Brian, people are clamoring that I show you these Photoshops.
All right, gimme.
So we were talking about...
You know what? Okay, this one, lost on me. Not lost on me, given the fact that for the first time, I published a photo of me topless, and I will appear topless in the first ever of Modern Rogue.
That's
right.
Not you.
I know.
That
is Vladimir Putin.
That's right.
Oh!
President of the Russian
too close to call, CNN says.
That is that's a fabulous looking horse.
Someone sent this in recently, a horse on Brian. Of course, this is like the classic, the old like
the babushka Brian. Yeah,
Brian, that's right.
No, that's me wearing a Shepherd Fairy shirt wrapped around like a babushka. That's amazing.
All right, well,
Justin, did you see this sneak peek photo of me from this Modern Rogue shoot?
I did. It looked awesome.
Okay. Oh, that's right. I did. I publicly put it out. That's right.
Yeah. Twitter.com/Schwid.
That's the thing.
Alrighty, let me check my opening text.
Brian, how would you feel if I made that into a poster and put it over our bed?
I mean, depends. Would you be doing it ironically?
I don't know.
Does that matter?
I don't even know anymore.
Matters.
It does?
Yeah.
Oh.
I saw a mullet. Are mullets actually in or not in?
Probably. It's been long enough. I mean, who could be doing it unironically? Nobody. So, yeah. Go for it.
This guy is of the age that he could have just kept wearing the mullet.
I mean, was his name Rex Williams?
No.
Okay.
Well, he doesn't have anything anymore.
Well, not anymore, but yeah. But he held on to that for an uncomfortably long time. It was really impressive.
He was really enjoying
it. He was way more okay than I would expect anyone to be.
I might have vomited a little in my mouth every time I saw it. No. I knew too many mullets in my school.
Agent Sign, I want you to know, yes, I was covered in clay. It was Bonnie's clay, so I'm sure she would have enjoyed all that.
See, he needed to be immersed before
Bryce,
he could move things.
real quick, behind the scenes, and if now's not the right venue for it,
okay.
It seemed to me like Jason and I were having a lot of fun during the shoot, but you did not seem to enjoy spending your Saturday night in the rain trying to shoot us running around pretending to take on the Predator.
It was fucking miserable.
Wait. What if there were...
Was it the rain or the Saturday night or the Brian and Jason? That's what I want to know. Like, which part of that made it
column A, little column B, little column C. It was the mixture of like
considering the last one is responsible for the first two.
It was not so much the Saturday thing because I'm fine with that. I've grown accustomed to giving up portions of my weekends. But it was partially because it was very tough to shoot that.
Yeah.
Given that it was pitch dark out there and I had the only light and you saw me get so frustrated with that fucking light when it wouldn't stay in place.
Well, I hope in that moment we did a good job of not putting any pressure on you and making it clear that you could take as long as you want.
Sure.
Everything was cool.
Oh, no, that was nice.
Plus,
it's just there's only
also,
so many times I can hear, don't we have the best job? And we go, okay, well, you have a very fun job.
Says the CEO of Enron.
Oh, my God.
But by the time it stopped raining, once the actual downpour, the unending downpour ended, I actually started to feel better.
Okay, good. Well, I just know that I genuinely felt bad in that moment, and I was like, oh, I don't think Bryce is having a very good time.
So, do you think? What if there were like laser lights and like club music playing? Would it have been better?
Meaning what?
No.
For me?
Oh,
yeah.
no, sweetie, you can't
I was
trick him
working.
into thinking it's Coachella. That's not a thing.
What if there were a few tents, glam tents around, so it just looked like you were at some kind of fancy concert?
I think he'd still want to get done shooting the 40-year-old idiots in clay. So he can get to the glam tents.
So what would make it fun?
It not being raining or pitch dark or my equipment fucking up.
Or on Saturday night.
or walking through that weird soft pile of leaves that Jason kept walking into.
I'm with you. That fucking soft pile of leaves is weird shit.
Yeah.
All of it. We're going to pave everything.
Good.
I feel like it's super... No.
Yes.
It's already paved. All you have to do is sweep the leaves because it's just...
turns out
it's
there's
rock
a
underneath.
complete elementary school underneath there.
Okay, we got to get started. But before we do,
right.
I want to say thank you to Jared Jensen, who gave 5 gift subs to Lawn Makes, Daniel Clement, 1982, Denver Ken, XX Grimx, Ring Grasp. Also, thank you to Sandwich Brad, who gave a subscription to Aphex, to T-Tech 22, and Ipsiverses, and Man of Consequence, and Thermos Jack. And
My goodness!
I'm going to take a look at our thing.
We got a real crew here. This is amazing.
Yeah, no shit. By the way, it is
we have a new emote slot.
Oh! You jaunty jerkin?
We are only 46 subscribers away from the next one. So thank you, everybody, for help pushing that. And if you were gifted a sub throughout the month of September, you can get your next month of subscription for $1 instead of $5. So check that shit out.
Hells yes.
Okay.
Hells yes. Hells yes,
Hells
Bryce.
yes.
Hells yes.
Hells yes.
Hells yes.
Hells yes. Okay, we gotta start the show. Otherwise, we'll keep.
Otherwise, we won't have a show.
Let me kick one more thing. Here we go.